So now we are basically paying our attention for finalization of accounts with GST perspective. So I have selected some basis area of coverage as books of account with respect to books of accounts, financial statements, director's report, audit report and CARO, notes to accounts, internal audit report, tax audit report, and year-end adjustment entries. So these are all the various basic areas where we have to make our focus during the time of finalization of accounts. So first I will see with, these are all some illustrative examples only. I didn't have a detailed exhaustive study, just have a glimpse of the major area where we have to have focus. So first I took books of accounts. So books of accounts normally after the GST regime, we have to ensure that the books of accounts are to be maintained at the place of business mentioned in the GST certificate. If there is more than one place of business, say we have a branch or something like that, books of accounts are to be maintained at the respective places where mentioned in the GST certificate. Sir, it is audible for all of you, sir. Hello?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Okay. Then we have to check for comparison of financial books with GST. So what we have to do, this involves reconciliation of turnover. To begin with, we have to start reconciliation of turnover with GSTR 1 and 3B, ITC with credit ledger, GST credit with credit and liability statement. So we have to compare the financial books, whatever we have prepared, with the data lying in the GST portal, which involves reconciliation of turnover, GSTR 1, 3B along with our books, then ITC with our credit ledger, GST credit with our credit and liability statement of our financial books. Then the next step is revenue recognition and GST turnover reconciliation. So the turnover as shown in the books and the GST portal must be reconciled before finalization of the accounts. We have to first step to be taken is we have to first reconcile the turnover as shown in the books and the GST portal. If it does not match, the reasons for not matching, we have certain examples where we can see it. So if it does not match, we have to prepare a reconciliation statement. Similarly, whatever we are preparing for our BRS. So we have to prepare a reconciliation statement stating the reasons for not matching of our turnover between our books as well as our GST portal. The reasons may be, for example, I'll give one or more example. Sometimes goods will be invoiced in March 28, risk and reward passes in April only, and hence revenue will be recognized risk and reward passes in April, revenue will be recognized in April only. But for GST, turnover will be included in March and tax is to be paid in April. In which case there will be a difference in the turnover between whatever is appearing in the books and whatever is appearing in the GST portal. Sometimes advances received for services. So this advance received for services does not form part of the books because the services is not yet rendered, but it should be shown in the GST portal as a form, and it forms part of our taxable value. So these are all certain areas where we can find the difference in the turnover as appearing in the books of accounts and GST portal. One more case is regarding our construction contracts, where revenue is recognized as percentage of completion method in books, whereas in GST, as and when the progressive payments are received, the liability arises as far as GST is concerned. And similarly, in one more case, in case of export of goods, where entities follow Ind AS, where the functional currency is not Indian rupees, for the purpose of GST, sales will be accounted on the basis mentioned in the Customs Act, whereas in the book, we have to value that on the basis of average rate. So these are all rate differences where we can find which will have an impact on the turnover also, difference in turnover also. So these are all some of the examples where we have to ensure that we have to prepare reconciliation statement. So even in case of audit or any query rises, we can show that statement and make our stand correct. Then. Next, we have to check analysis of turnover rate-wise to ensure the correctness of GST liability and check if HSN code and rates are appropriate. The reason behind this checkpoint is sometimes for the we uniformly follow the same rate for the entire HSN, but for same HSN, the rates may differ subject to certain condition. If we supply below this quantum, the HSN rate will be like this. If it exceeds this amount, the HSN rate will differ. If you are claiming a lower rate, then you will not claim ITC. Like that, we have so many restrictions and conditions. So it is not that we are for every HSN, we have to apply the same uniform rate. Even for the same HSN, rates will differ. So we have to check whether the proper HSN and for the particular circumstance, whether we are applying the same rate. This also we have to take care. Then impact of GST on year-end discount. This is one more area. Volume discount normally reduces the taxable value and hence the GST liability. We must ensure that the agreement was entered into before the supply commenced and discount to be linked to specified invoices. If not, if the discount is not linked to the specified invoices, then the discount will not be reduced from the taxable value. So these are all the parameters where we have to check for. We have to cross check with the, so in case where we have discount, we have to check with the particular invoice whether we have an agreement or not. So these are all we have to make ensure. Then we have to take care regarding scrap sales and profit on sale of fixed assets. Normally fixed assets, nowadays we have to classify under the head not as fixed assets, but it should be classified under property, plant and equipment. So if ITC has not been availed on that fixed asset which is supposed to be sold, GST liability is on sole consideration. In case where ITC is availed and the asset is sold within 5 years, the GST payable is higher of sale consideration multiplied by applicable rate and reversal of proportionate ITC claim. Whichever is higher, we have to take as ITC. So we next move on to the next slide. Next, we have to check analysis of expenditure heads of RCM liability. Then TDS. TDS is one more area. Then in regard to ITC, where ITC has been claimed and not paid within 180 days, that ITC should be reversed and the liability plus interest to be provided. Normally what we will do, we will see whether all the sales mentioned in the books of accounts are appearing in the GST or not. Whether we will see the duties and taxes, the duties and taxes input and output, whether it matches with the books of accounts and portal or not. That only we will check. We have to make ensure that the payment regarding the particular invoices has been received within 180 days or not. If it is not reserved, the ITC, whatever we have claimed in respect of those invoices, it should be reversed and the liability plus interest to be provided. Then we have to disclose the GST related figures in financials. That also we have to ensure. For that, if it is surplus, we have to show in there as under the head current assets. Otherwise, if we have to show under the current liabilities. If we have 2 or 3 GST rates, say for 9%, 18%, 28%, and one 18% if showing surplus, and another 28% if it is showing on the other side, we have to show separately, and we should not net it off we should not give a consolidated figure under either the current asset or under the current liabilities. If we have separate rate and each rate shows different figures, one is surplus, another one is liability, then we have to show each and every item separately under the balance sheet, either in current assets or under the current liabilities. Then certain parameters we have to verify regarding ITC. ITC of particular financial year claimed in the same financial year. If it belongs to financial which is claimed in the next financial year, ITC not yet claimed. ITC not yet claimed is divided into 2. Sometimes it will be deferred. Sometimes it will be lapsed. If it is lapsed, mandatorily it is to be transferred to P&L account. These are the areas where I think we have having enough focus on these items. We have to ensure that, because whatever we are doing is just reconciling the sales turnover, whether ITC has been paid or not, matching the ITC and all. So in case of ITC where it is not claimed and where it is lapsed, it should be transferred to P&L account. This is one of the area we have to take care of. Next is regarding audit report. In the audit report, we have to qualify. I have given certain examples only. So in the following circumstances, we have to qualify the audit report where we have unreconciled or unexplained differences between turnover as per books and as per GST. Then underbooking of GST liability due to wrong rate and claiming ineligible ITC. Or say, for example, export of goods or services without filing LUT. So these are some of the, I mentioned only some of the areas where we have to qualify the audit report under these circumstances. Then, in respect of CARO requirements, discrepancy if material, if noticed between physical verification of materials and books, how to deal with it books of accounts. If there is material differences between physical verification of stocks and as per books, then in which case, if it is material, it should be reported, and ITC in respect of the difference should be reversed if it is material. Then whether the company is regular in depositing the undisputed statutory dues. If not, undisputed statutory dues includes GST. So if not, disclosure is required. Then related party disclosure. Reimbursement of expenses to related parties also attracts GST liability. Then extraordinary note of item, whether it attracts provisions or GST or not. So these are all some of the situations where CARO also requires the disclosure when analyzing the accounts with respect to GST perspective. So next is internal audit report. So for internal audit report, you have check for observations and comments on account of GST liability, frequent claim of ineligible ITC, claim of ITC based on 2A without actual receipt of goods or services, comments of efficacy of control in accounting for input and output GST. So these are very important points where the internal audit department has to focus. So they have to make observations and comments on accounts for GST liability, frequent claim of ineligible ITC, where we are claiming ITC, we are claiming ineligible ITC very frequently, and claim of ITC based on 2A. We are claiming the ITC based on 2A, but there is no actual receipt of goods or services. Only if the data is appearing on blindly, if the data is appearing on 2A, and if you are taking claim without actual receipt of goods or services, these are all the areas where internal audit should be taken. And comments on efficacy of control in accounting for input and output GST. So these are all some of the areas where the internal audit report has to be drawn. Then whatever we are preparing the tax audit report in 3CD, where we have specific queries regarding in class question number 4, where it is asking the data includes the liability and RCM, whether you have any liability on RCM, and you have to mention all GSTN across the same time, whatever GSTN number you are having for the same number that we have to mention separately. It is asking in the audit report. Then for depreciation schedule, whether if any particular fixed asset is, whether we have any fixed assets has been purchased, if whether ITC has been claimed on that fixed asset, if ITC has been claimed, how the depreciation is calculated. So these are all the queries that is asking in one of the classes in audit report. Then amount debited to the P&L account, which are in the nature of personal account or capital, etc. Whether ITC we have to check whether ITC is not claimed in respect of the amounts which are in the nature of personal or capital and which are debited in the P&L account. So these are aware of some of the areas where we have to make analysis between our books as well as with GST, and we have to give a report in our tax audit report. Then certain we have year-end adjustments, certain things we have to make. Provision is to be made for short GST paid due to inadvertent errors in rate or inadvertent errors in rate or classification along with interest. If you have made any error, inadvertent error while calculating the rate for a particular product applicable for a particular supply, or if you have made a wrong.
Madam, this one you are talking, is there in the PPT or?
No, sir. This I have missed actually.
Oh, you are reading. Okay, fine. No.
Yeah. So provision has to be made. So in case of inadvertent errors in rate, where we have made a mistake in finding out the correct rate, or if there is any mismatch in classification, then you have to make a provision for the short GST, whatever you have paid along with interest. All line items in the financials, this is the main importance. So we should not focus only on purchases or sales. All line items of the financials except cash, bank and capital will fall within the purview of the GST, and care should be taken for accounting each and every item to find whether it falls along with our statutory requirement. That's all, sir. So this is the small thing I'm able to make it. Maybe this is for a short period of 15 minutes. Hope you have
wonderful.
Small idea or glimpse about.
You are going like a super fast train. You can actually slow.
Okay.
Otherwise, it was really nice. Everything was so nice.
Okay.
Ma'am, I have yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Madam, I have only one doubt in what you have said. In slide number, the disclosure parts of GST you told now. Slide number 5 or 4, I think so. disclosure of GST
just
related
disclosure of
figures
GST
in
related
financial.
figures.
Where you have said that the credits and the payable should not be offset.
Shown in liabilities, and if you have surplus, you have shown in current
should
assets.
not be offsetted with offsetted.
Yes.
It should not be offsetted based on the percentage of rate of tax.
Yes.
Yeah, I told like then if I have a 12% taxes and I have a 18% payable, you told that
surplus you should not offset it and put it in the net figure. You have to show it separately under either as current asset or under current.
Yes, ma'am. In that I have a query in that because with respect to offsetting of GST liabilities and input tax credits. What accounting standard says in this regard, I will say, accounting standard states that if the local law allows you to offset the liability with the credit available, and it is eligible to be offsetted, you can offset. There is no requirement to maintain a rate-wise credit and payable separately. If you have a permission to offset the liability, you can offset it. But separate we have to do now. A CGST credit cannot be utilized to offset the SGST liability. However, IGST liability could be Madam Venkatesh sir has joined the meeting, madam. Please add.
Who has joined?
Venkat sir has joined.
Oh, see, what happens now? See, what Srini is telling is absolutely right. See, credit ledger or whatever credit ledger, it is actually what you say, any credit goes inside the credit ledger loses its color. So whether it is a service, whether it is goods, or whether it is 18%, 12%, as soon as it enters the electronic credit ledger, CGST credit ledger is one bucket, SGST is one bucket, IGST is one bucket. As soon as it goes inside this bucket, no, it loses the color. So you can show it as CGST liability or CGST asset, SGST liability, SGST asset. So only thing is that inter head adjustment is what we have to look at. Otherwise, rate wise, I feel as soon as it goes inside, whether it is outward or whether it is inward, no, as soon as the liability is created, the rate loses its color. Is what I.
Okay, sir. Maybe I will just check over it. Maybe I will.
Otherwise, all was excellent.
Super.
It was really good. So any points, Srini, you have to add?
Points are in this.
No, which you feel additionally you can check or something.
Yes, sir. I feel that if there is a difference between value stated in the return, ma'am told that we should qualify the report if there is a difference between returns filed and actual taxable value. Hello. Yes. When there is a material difference, we have to see from the concept of materiality also. If there is a non-material items which are in respect of materiality, we have to set a materiality level. If it is below the materiality level, it is not required to qualify the report. And then if there is a mistake in the return stating that the turnover has been overstated, when does happen now? Instead of taxable value, the company has inputted the total invoice value as taxable value, which now taxable value will be high and tax rates will be common. The total invoice value will be plus the tax, additional tax.
The GST.
In that cases, the turnover will be boosted up, but the difference in the turnover is just tax amount which is duplicated while filing the returns. In that case, there is not required to qualify the report.
But whatever I have mentioned is if you have any unreconciled or unexplained difference, if you are not able to reconcile or if you don't have any explanation why the turnover between this and that, then in which case you have to give a reconciliation.
Yes, madam. In that case, if the material, if that difference is more than your materiality concern, we can
Okay.
specify the same in the other matter paragraph. Instead
Oh,
of
okay,
qualifying,
okay.
we can mention in other matter paragraphs. And another
Okay.
point, if there is a, if when the GST is there, na, in some cases, non-filing of GST and returns lead to suspension of GST numbers.
Registry, yes,
And
yes.
then we have to file the returns, and then it would be reactivated. In such cases, these cases have to be mentioned in our audit report under key audit matters paragraph.
Oh, okay, okay, fine.
Stating
Okay.
that the registration under the GST was suspended as the company has not been in compliance with the GST laws. However, after the
Okay.
complaints, the same has been revoked as on date. We have to mention
Have
it under
mentioned it, okay.
in key audit reports. We have in key audit report paragraph, we have to mention that.
Okay.